Hallo iedereen, welkom bij Dutch&Go. Today we're going to talk about modal verbs and frequent mistakes that students tend to make. If you haven't seen my previous video on modal verb, please check that out here because that will be very helpful. And if you haven't seen that one first, then this video will be super confusing. So if you don't watch it, it's your own responsibility. Don't say I didn't warn you. I know you. But yeah, so today we're going to talk a little bit about mistakes, common mistakes with modal verbs. And I think most of the mistakes related to the modal verbs kunnen, mogen, and moeten are mistakes with regards to the negation. Because students don't always understand how the negation has an impact on modal verbs and on their meaning. So that's why I've chosen just some highly frequent wrong sentences, mistakes of students of mine, and we're just going to go through them together. So the procedure is I'll first read out the sentence that is wrong, and then I would suggest that you can pause the video and just give yourself a moment to think about why that sentence would be wrong, okay? And then continue watching for my answer. I think that would be a very good exercise for you. So, first sentence. In de trein moet je niet roken. Okay, so why is that wrong? Because technically, if I was to translate that one into English, it would be in the train, you don't have to smoke. It means that you're not obliged to. It's not obligatory to smoke. So meaning, I'm implying that it's kind of allowed to. Okay, yeah. Whereas, however, the correct sentence would be in de trein mag je niet roken. You're not allowed to smoke in the train. Yeah. I hope you got that one right. Let's go to another sentence. Op restaurant kan je niet roken. Op restaurant kan je niet roken. Okay, so I hope you managed to identify the mistake in this sentence. It's actually similar to the first sentence, but here it's kan. So if I say kan je niet roken, it means that I'm not able to smoke. However, I am kind of able to smoke in a restaurant. If I bring a packet of cigarettes with me and a lighter, then I will be able to smoke at a restaurant. Whether I'll be able to then stay at the restaurant or whether I'm going to get kicked out of there, yeah, well, that's a whole other discussion. So basically, the correct sentence would be, in een restaurant mag je niet roken. Let's look at a third sentence. Hier mag je informatie krijgen. Hier mag je informatie krijgen. So if I were to translate this sentence into English, it would be, here you're allowed to get information. I don't know about you, but that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, where is it not allowed to get information? Except for maybe when you're living in North Korea, where information is not always legal, but I'm getting sidetracked. You get my point. Here you're not allowed to get information doesn't make a lot of sense. What, however, does make sense is saying a sentence like, hier kan je informatie krijgen. Here you're able to, you can get information. Okay, so that means that there's either a booth or some leaflets or a person who's specialized, whatever. There is some kind of option to receive information from someone. Okay. Final sentence, or final two sentences. If I were to say, daar kan je niet parkeren, okay? Daar kan je niet parkeren, that means that I'm not able to park there. So that means that there's no possibility of parking, so meaning that parking space is occupied. Okay. However, daar mag je niet parkeren, well, then all of a sudden I'm getting a whole different perspective. Okay. Daar mag je niet parkeren means you're not allowed to park there. So maybe there's space to put your car, but it doesn't matter because it's not allowed. And if I park there, I'm going to get a ticket or my car is getting towed. Yeah, that kind of thing. So depending on which modal verb you use, you're going to have a different focus. Finally, so watch out with must and must not. Must not, I would actually translate from English into Dutch as niet mogen, okay? You mustn't jump on the table. Je mag niet op tafel springen. Yeah? So that's why when we're talking about these modal verbs and a verb like moeten, I don't really like to give must as a translation, okay? Rather, the point is to have to, and then niet moeten to not have to, or rather to be obliged to and to not be obliged to. I think these translations make a lot more sense than to must and to must not, because then it becomes a little bit confusing. Okay, so I hope this video cleared up maybe some doubts that you might have had about auxiliary verbs and how to use them. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment if this was helpful for you, and if you have any more questions about modal verbs and specifically these 3 modal verbs and how to use them, please let me know, because I would love to hear from you. Dankjewel voor het kijken. Tot de volgende keer. Dit was Dutch&Go. Dag.